What is going on YouTube? Welcome in, I'm LuboATM as always, and welcome to another video on the channel. It's this week's Shrine of Secrets discussion. This is the first week in a couple of weeks where I've not had to go into my IRL job in the office, so I can actually do the Shrine video this week at a reasonable time. So if you've not seen this before, basically I talked through all the perks on the Shrine, what they do, what they combo well with, what the strengths and weaknesses are, and whether they are worth your hard-earned shards or not. So we'll jump right in as we always do with the first perk, which is Bubba teachable, which is Franklin's Demise. So basically, if you hit anyone with a basic attack with Franklin's, it forces the survivor to drop their item, and if not recovered within, it says 150 there, but at tier 3 it's 90 seconds, the item loses all its charges and is depleted by the entity. Auras of lost items are revealed to you within 13 meters and slowly fade from white to red as the time elapses. So basically, basic attack someone, they've got a flashlight, a med kit, a toolbox, drop it on the ground. Longer it's on the ground, the less charges it has, the less beneficial it is for the survivor to pick it back up again, and takes away a resource from them throughout the trial. So this is it is a good perk. It's difficult to get away from. It is a good perk. It's just an annoying perk. It's an unfun perk. There's nothing worse than when you sit there and you're sitting in your lobby, whether you're playing on your own or with your friends, and you're like, oh, I'm going to put on a flashlight because I've got a challenge, or I'm going to bring in a med kit because I'm not running self-care, just to be able to heal myself so I don't have to go search out teammates. Right, that's my plan. I've got it sorted. This is what I'm going to do. 2 seconds into the trial, big thwack to the head, and then your item's gone, and you're like, ugh, I either need to risk going back to get it quickly, or I just need to leave it, and it's just annoying. It's just really, really, really annoying. And I can't remember who said it. It might have been Otofu who said it. Is like, if you play against any Bubba player, they will either run Franklin's or Bamboozle. It's like 99% confirmed that they will run either this or Bamboozle. So got that added, probably negative connotation to it, that basically any time you go up against a Bubba, you just assume Franklin's, and I don't really know many people who like going up against Bubbas anyway. So yeah, it's a decent enough perk. It does exactly what it says in the tin, and it's just, as a survivor, it's more annoying than anything. So if you enjoy annoying people, then this is probably the perk for you. The second perk on the shrine this week is a Trickster teachable, which is Starstruck. So basically, when you're carrying a survivor, all survivors within your terror radius suffer from the exposed status effect. This persists for, it says 26 there, it's 30 seconds at tier 3. When people leave your terror radius. Starstruck also has a cooldown of 60 seconds, which I don't think changes. No, it doesn't change. That's just a fixed 60 seconds. So yeah, 60 seconds cooldown. 30 seconds of people in the exposed state once they leave your terror radius. This is just a good perk. It's fun. You can do a lot of stuff with it. Like, obviously, I think the most common pairing you'll see with it is probably, if people are running it for a specific reason to get value out of it, would be agitation. Makes the most amount of sense. Agitation means that you move quicker when you're carrying people. It also increases your terror radius while you're carrying people. It's weird. I thought when this came out, this would be like a go-to for like mobility killers with really high mobility. So like your hellbillies, your blights, your wraiths, even your nurses. And you do see it on a few nurses now, but I seem to find you find Starstruck more on kind of basic M1 killers, which I think is a really interesting dynamic for it, because obviously I would expect you would want to pick someone up, get them hooked as quickly as possible, and then be able to quickly locate and down someone who's exposed. But I seem to find more people like doctors and legions running Starstruck rather than mobility killers, which I find very interesting. Obviously, I'm assuming just to get you extra pressure because you don't have a strong power in theory. But it's a really, really good perk. Should probably add on to this one as well. I'm thinking this is pretty much guaranteed that the Tome 9 Crescendo is released today, day of release. And it is going to be a Trickster and Yunjin tome, so I would put my money on that there'll be some form of Starstruck based challenge in that tome. So just keep an eye out for that. The third perk on the shrine is a Yunjin teachable. Same logic applies here. I'm pretty sure this is going to be as part of the current tome. But it's self-preservation, so basically whenever another survivor within 16 meters of you gets hit with a basic attack, self-preservation activates and your scratch marks, pools of blood and grunts of pain are hidden for 6 seconds, goes up to 10 at tier 3. This is one of the perks I think falls into a category in Dead by Daylight that I think probably sounded really, really good on paper. Like, if you're playing against someone and it's probably been built in to be some sort of counter to infectious fright, I would think is my thought process, that if someone gets down near you or hit near you, instead of you and with infectious you screaming and then being able to snowball, it gives you the opportunity to like disappear or like get further away or disappear, or and they don't know where you went. Sounds really good on paper. I don't see any situation where it would come in handy. It doesn't particularly combo well with anything else. You know, all the ones that you would look at, maybe like your Lucky Break, your Iron Will, all of this sort of stuff. This perk gives you those benefits, so it doesn't combo well with them. So it's a perk that seriously lacks synergy. And the only thing I can really think that is positive for is an infectious fright counter. And it's so situational. You'd have that on to counter a perk that a killer may or may not run. I just don't. I think it probably sounded really good on paper. I just can't see the benefits of it in, you know, in live games. It's just a bit meh, if I'm honest. And the final one on the shrine today, oh boy, is Soul Survivor, a Laurie Strode teachable. I don't even want to say what this does, but we'll go for it anyway. So every time another survivor other than yourself is killed or sacrificed, Soul Survivor gains 1 token, up to 3 tokens. Each token grants a stackable radius of 24 meters, I think it is, at tier 3, within which the killer is unable to see your aura up to a maximum of 72 meters. Increases your chance of being the obsession by like 100%, because yeah, so basically this is a perk that means that you don't have your aura red if other people die. So other than potentially the last survivor being killed or hooked and you being seen on barbecue for the killer to find your position, which you can counter either by being within the 40 meters or being in a locker. What does this perk do? Like, what does this, like, how, like, realistically probably looking at like the main aura reading perks for killer and aura reading add-ons, right? Ignore add-ons because there's too many to go into, but you're talking barbecue probably, I'm all ears probably, but it's a rushed action within a certain amount of distance, so probably already know where you are, so seeing the aura isn't going to be as valuable. Yeah, like what does this perk does nothing. This perk really does nothing. It is probably, for me, people automatically go with no mither or no mither is the worst perk for survivor in the game. I honestly think so, survivor. I don't see any point or benefit to it. Basically, you're only getting benefit when other people die, and the benefit that you get by being the last survivor isn't actually beneficial to you at all, because you can counter virtually any aura reading perk by, you know, hiding in a locker or being within its radius anyway, and it doesn't take up a perk slot. Like, if I'm going to get a perk that's going to give me some sort of benefit for being the last remaining survivor in a trial, I would like it to be something like Left Behind, that like shows me where the hatch is, you know what I mean? So like I've got a chance of getting out. So like, but like, so basically all this does is prolong the hatch hunt when you're the last survivor. Basically, that's all this does. When you become the last survivor in the trial, your aura isn't reading red, so you don't have to take time hiding. You can just go hatch hunting. But all that basically does is prolong time. Either you'll find the hatch first, which you will do now anyway, or the killer will find it first, and then you have to play the which door am I going to try and open game, or try and find a key. You know what I mean? Like, in live games, I mean, yeah, you could probably get some sort of benefit. It goes down to a 3-man that you won't get picked up on barbecue or something like that, but is it really worth a perk slot? Like, I mean, if you're really that concerned about it, you could run distortion, or as I said, you can hide in a locker or be within the radius, or you know, like, it's just bad. It's just really, really bad. So yeah, just don't buy this perk unless you're a completionist and you haven't got Laurie, which I would doubt, because most people will have Laurie anyway just to get Decisive Strike. But yeah, I just don't waste your time, don't waste your breath, don't waste your energy on it. It's not worth it. So that's us, guys. Shrine video in the books for another week. As always, I'd recommend one perk over the other. So by default, I'll say get self-preservation because it's not Soul Survivor. And secondly, it's going to be in the new tome challenges, you would assume. So if you don't have Yun Jin, then this will allow you to do the challenge that's in the tome. Killer one's a tough one. I'll probably go Starstruck personally, just because I personally prefer it. I think you could make an argument for either one. I'm not a fan of Franklin's because of the annoyance factor. If you've watched my FYR build on Nemesis, the entire purpose of that video and build was to frustrate survivors by taking resources away from them, and I think I covered on that I'm not a particular fan of any of the perks I ran in that video. So I would go Starstruck, so that would be my recommendations. So thank you guys for joining me. As always, I've been LiboATM. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and until I see you guys next time, peace.